Hey everyone, this is Austin Schur here with We Write About Music, and today I'm here with Maxton Hunter. He's just released his all new single titled Honestly, and I am super excited to hear all about it. Maxton, thank you so much for coming on today. How are you doing?
Doing fantastic. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Yeah, man, you're very welcome. There are so many like honestly jokes that I could have just made right there, but I'm gonna refrain and I'm just gonna ask you all about the song and you as a person. Uh,
Honestly, that's all right.
There
So
you go. That's the
let's kick
one.
one
That's
off.
the
Yeah.
one allowed, and skip right past. Sweet. So I want to talk about this song lyrically. Would you mind sort of breaking down the message behind it all?
Right. Yeah. Well, this was one of my many quarantunes, as that phrase was kind of
I love
coming
that.
about. It was one that made it on top out of so many, and I thought it resonated with me the most with kind of just going through that time period of, you know, isolation, and you really get to see who your real friends are. That was kind of the biggest wake up call during that period. Like, who's reaching out to you, who's checking in on you during those times, you
So
know? And
true. There's so much disconnect. It's just
it
like it. I mean,
exactly.
yeah. As horrible as it's been for the most part, it really has kind of been an eye-opening experience. It's been like, who are my
Yeah,
real friends? Who are the people worth reaching out to in the future and keeping around?
right. And so my lucky ass, I moved to LA
There you go.
just 3 months before quarantine hit. So I had this 3 months where my girlfriend and I were like, oh, we'll save these things for the summer. Oh, we'll do this
Sure.
then. So we're in no rush of kind of doing all the like fun stuff because she's from here, and
Okay.
I'm only from about hour or so away in Santa Barbara, so not too
Nice.
drastic, but definitely a new local. And
Oh man, we're
yeah,
neighbors.
yeah,
There you go.
yeah. Whereabouts are you?
I'm like in the valley.
Oh,
You
terrific.
know,
Same, Studio City.
oh wow, I could. Wow, we're very close.
All
We could
right.
have just done this in person. To be
uh,
honest,
true.
that's all
Maybe,
right.
maybe next time.
Yeah. How do you like
Um,
it?
I love it. You know, I've been coming here my whole life for shows and everything, and
Sure.
just little day trips. So
I feel you.
it's nice to actually be part of the community, and I've
Totally.
met so many creatives, to say the least.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
like
that's crazy.
yeah.
I think my favorite part, honestly, is just finding like little new trails and those
Yeah.
kind of things. That really does make you kind of feel more a part of the city for sure. All those little gems.
Right. Yeah, the
Yeah.
most expensive part of living here is obviously the rent, but you can find infinite
Yep.
free things to do. If you're an outdoorsy person, you can,
Mhm.
man, you can go snowboarding and surfing in the same day
Mhm.
if it's the right season. So it's
Wow.
pretty,
Yeah, that's a very good
pretty
point.
cool. I want to talk a little bit about the
Mhm.
actual collaborations on this song because it's not
Mhm.
just you here.
Yeah.
Who is Arabella and who is James October? How did you get them on the track and
Mhm.
who are they to you?
So they are friends of mine. Ari, who is Ari Bella, she is a friend of my girlfriend. They've known each other for quite some time, and she connected me with her, and
Sweet.
it was a kind of like our debut collaboration there. And as well as my buddy James, I've known him for a good couple years. He's also from my hometown,
Sweet.
and he as well just moved out here, which is awesome. And yeah, it was just one of those things. I didn't want to sing on this song, so I took no vocals, but
Sure.
I, had all the lyrics, melodies, and instruments all done. So I was like, I feel like, which is kind of funny because it's one of my most candid songs I've ever written.
Yeah, well, you just didn't want to put your face in front of it, and that's
Yeah,
totally fine. You were the
yeah,
conductor, you were the orchestrator, and you did what needed to be done.
exactly. Yeah. So, that was actually kind of I guess, symbolic part of it, I guess one could say. But
Yeah,
yeah, it was really fun. James's vocals were all recorded remotely. He was still in Boston at the time.
gotcha.
So that was also kind of a very quarantine type of
Oh
thing
yeah,
to go
oh
down,
yeah,
having this remote session happening. And so it was really cool piecing it all together and,
totally.
hearing their isolated vocals. They've never even met, which also was kind of a unique thing for me. So the song was, kind of had a bunch of milestones for me. And
Right.
um,
Well, it sounds
yeah, it
like this
was.
has been in the works for a little bit then, if it was happening before he moved here, is that right?
Yes. So, and actually, I think I wrote it probably May or
Oh, okay.
June. I think that was when I was first demoing it. So it really was like kind of a whole year later for it to be
Yeah.
out was great. And yeah, I'm so happy with how it turned out. It really was better than I even thought it could be.
Totally.
Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about the production side of things as well,
Mm-hmm.
because you were not, I suppose, like, in front of this song.
Hmm.
Were you in the back of the song? Were you the one putting this together?
Yes. So I in the past have done all my own, production. I've
Awesome.
done all my own self recordings, and I mixed everything in the past. And this year I've been taking the challenge to record with others. And
Yeah.
I kind of got so comfortable doing it by myself, but I really wanted to hit that next level of quality with my work. So I actually teamed up with Noah Bruskin, who's essentially Alan Parsons' right hand man.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
huge.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
Damn.
He
Okay.
another hometown connection, and him and I connected at one of Alan's master classes that I took a couple years back. And uh yeah, I've recorded basically all my new material with him, and we got a couple more singles after these
Hell
that I
yeah.
also worked on with him. And yeah, so that was a crazy opportunity. Him and I, this is our second song working together. The previous one was called Say What You Mean. And yeah, so that was a huge feat for me as well, just actually focusing on the song, focusing on the production of the song. And I got to shadow him, in his work ethic in the studio, which was it was it's very needed.
Yeah.
It was so DIY for a while that I was like, all right, I'm kind of hitting some roadblocks now, and
Totally. I feel
um
like as many YouTube videos as you can watch about production and certain software tricks and this and that,
yeah.
there really is no other way to do it other than being in a studio,
Mhm.
watching a real pro do it, and picking their brain and really trying to learn and
Mhm.
absorb as much as possible. I think it probably
Exactly.
enhances the experience and also makes you feel more legit in a way. You know
Oh
what I mean?
yeah.
I think
Yeah.
just because the rise of people making music in their bedrooms, which is not necessarily a
Mhm.
bad thing,
Mhm.
it's an encouraged thing, but really just
Mhm.
kind of getting out there and making it come to life with another
Mhm.
person has to add a whole new level of things to it. So
I probably told him about two or three times, like, man, I haven't heard my music sound this good out of monitors before.
right,
It's
yeah.
it was pretty damn special. So I'm really grateful for how that all turned out.
That's really cool. Before you brought the song to him, did you have sort of the general direction that you wanted to go? Like I would classify this song very dream poppy. You know what I mean? I
Okay, yeah.
It's beautiful. Like you kind of feel like you're floating on a cloud while you're listening
Wow.
to it.
I mean,
Did
I'm
you have that
falling from a
idea?
cloud in the on the cover, so
That's what I'm saying. I mean, that's yeah, kind of like dug in me before, because the first impression of any song is the artwork. But yeah,
we can get to that in a second. But
totally.
regarding your comment there, oh, I just lost it. I just
Dream
lost what I was.
pop, dream
Dream
pop.
pop, yeah. I really wanted to, because in the past my stuff was definitely more on the kind of indie, lo-fi, psychedelic
Sure.
stuff, and I've touched on some ambient music in the past as well. And so I wanted to kind of put all those together and see if I
Yeah.
can actually write a pop song, and uh, funny enough, the song was inspired by Senorita, which,
Sweet.
you know, talking into my friends would be like, really, out of all songs, because I come from such a like dense background of the Beatles and the Who,
Sure, sure.
current bands like Tame Impala or something. And so, actually putting them aside for a bit and be like, you know what, like I want to challenge myself, and actually write something that, I've never written before. And um, yeah, that I like that dream pop. I could dig that.
Yeah, man. Well, I kind of want to hear more along the lines of who you just referenced. Typically, I'll ask about inspirations, but let's
Hmm.
just get down to it right now.
Hmm.
Considering everyone that you just named is, either was a major player in music or is still a major
Hmm.
player, how do you listen to them and not try to emulate and try to do your own thing?
Wow, that's a great question. I've never gotten that one before. Hmm. I think, because it's really easy to kind of get into those black holes where you're listening to these artists and you're like, oh, how did they do this? How did they do that? And
Sure.
at the end of the day, it's like, you're not going to know. And
Well, yeah, no
so,
one's coming close to Kevin Parker. It's not
yeah,
happening.
yeah.
You could spend
So,
years and months and thousands of dollars on all the
yep.
equipment, and I would just keep saying,
Mhm.
"Good luck." It's not happening.
Yeah. And that's actually the most beautiful realization, because you are always you at the end of the day. And
Yeah.
so, I've been I've always been pretty comfortable with just trusting my intuition of what I want to do and
Sure.
what I like, and I'll be inspired. Like I feel like in the past maybe I was a little bit more blunt with, oh, I'm gonna write an Oasis song. Oh, I'm gonna
Sure.
write
Sure.
a Stonesy kind of song, Jimi
Yeah.
Hendrix style, whatever it is, and I feel like now whatever just simply comes out of me, I'm like, I feel like I'm taking inspiration in the details as opposed to like the whole
Yes.
soundscape where,
I totally
I
get
might,
what you're saying.
yeah, like I might like a drum style that Kevin Parker does, or like a certain fill, and maybe I'll incorporate something along the lines of that, or
Sure. Sure.
it kind of sways between that. So when I was younger, it's actually pretty funny, but I would blatantly rip off just the Beatles. I mean, who hasn't? But
Yeah.
uh, I would literally take the exact melody and just like reverse the words a little bit, and I'd
Uh,
show my parents and certain mentors like, "This is a new one I'm working on here," and they're kind of like, they don't want to like
Heard
just.
that one before. Yeah, I feel
Wow,
it.
that's like too good of a song for
Wow, you're
your,
very good.
like it's
Very
kind of funny.
talented. Just
Yeah,
kept nodding their head.
so
No, I know
funny.
what you mean though. It's like it's well, I mean, earlier Beatles is like, like
Right.
how did no one else think of this? Like it's
I
so
know.
not,
Yeah.
I'm not I don't know if basic is the word, but it's just like
Hmm.
kind of. And then
Well,
obviously,
yeah.
they did their thing, but
Hmm.
it's not a bad idea in terms of just learning and experiencing and
Hmm.
expanding what you can do in the background to
Hmm.
try to make those types of songs and then branch out on your own. No one
Yeah.
is just gonna like start doing their own thing and start making their own beautiful original music. It just
Right.
doesn't
Well,
happen that way.
it makes so much sense why, after the Beatles uh, and maybe artists like Bob Dylan as well, I'd
Yeah,
put him right there too, is it just inspired people to play because then you learn
sure.
all these progressions that you would have never thought of putting together,
Yeah,
and it just the rest is history, and they did the same with their influences. They looked at all the
sure.
blues artists and they're like, wow, look at how they put that chord together, and it's just like
Yeah.
this continuous domino effect. It's so beautiful.
Right. Well, yeah, everyone's inspired by something. Like, no
Right,
matter
yeah.
what it is, even people that have created new genres or whatever it is, they
Yep.
didn't just pull it out of their butt, like,
Yeah,
from something else. So,
yeah.
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
you had mentioned that there are more singles in the works and more music on the way. And
Hmm.
you don't have to give too much away, and that's totally understandable. Are you
Hmm.
going to be looking to experiment and sort of expand your sound from what you've made in the past?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I'm hoping for every single to kind of touch on something new each time.
Nice.
I'd say the one to follow up, I do have a couple more obvious collaborations that I'll be releasing as well in between these. Um, but the ones that are like solely mine, um, yeah, I'm super excited. I mean, I think it's definitely showing my kind of musicianship a little bit more. They don't have any features on them, which is kind of new for me.
Sure.
I always try to at least get one person on, whether it's vocals or
Yeah.
or bass or something to counter it or something. And I just love bringing in friends, and I think it
Yeah,
just
man.
adds something so different to it. And yeah, so I'm kind of trusting myself. I feel like a little bit more now where I'm like, all right, I got these two songs, and um, these will be kind of the bridge to hopefully like a full EP next year, and kind of be this solidified piece of work. I've been embracing singles for the first time my whole life, so
Sure. I
yeah,
mean, that's
that's
just the way of the music industry at this time. It's
yep, yep,
give the people a little bit by bit,
yeah,
establish a fan base, continue on with it. And plus, honestly, it also doesn't sort of pigeonhole you into making one sound.
definitely, yeah,
You get to experiment and do your own thing. I always say, like, if you're not making music for yourself, then what are you doing? You got to have
yeah,
fun with it. You got to obviously experiment and have, do whatever. But
hmm,
I think what you're doing is good. I'm really excited to hear whatever comes in the future
yeah.
months for sure.
I hate the songs that are not written from my like truest self.
Yeah,
They're the ones that just immediately get brushed aside because they don't have that like
yeah.
longevity in them.
People can tell. People can
Yeah,
really tell.
they really
Obviously,
can.
there are a lot of people, maybe a majority of people that just listen
Mhm.
to music and
Mhm.
it's good to them because it makes them feel a certain way.
Right.
But if you're really trying to reach the true, legitimate music fan, then like you have to be honest. And I think
Yeah.
that's what you're doing. So
Hmm.
I want to know here. It sounds like your process is a little bit all over the place in terms of creating.
Hmm.
I know, especially because you bring on other people. So how does a
Hmm.
song start for you?
Always starts with the music,
Okay.
and I'll simultaneously have, different words written down that maybe aren't any music that I just kind of thought of, and I'm like, oh, I like that, and or I'm mainly drowning in titles. I have like I have like a
That's
lot of
not a bad
titles.
place to start. That's not a
Yeah,
bad place. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like I always have music like in the works, and but the
Sure.
titles are kind of what keep me afloat with like ideas that I want to talk about, or
Okay.
ideas that maybe I don't know how to properly kind of communicate. So
Right.
they're kind of floating around, and like sometimes they almost sound like a movie title, like a book title. So
Mhm.
I'm like, maybe I'll save that for another time, but
There are some crazy song titles out there. You can get weird with it.
oh my
It
God,
doesn't
yeah.
matter.
Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's always the music, and I will kind of have like little melodies floating around as I'm demoing, and so it'll be kind of the ham and eggs thing where
Totally.
there's something there, and I'm trying to figure out where it's coming from, and um, yeah, so it's a gradual process. Sometimes it happens all within the demo, where I might
Right.
improvise an entire song. Everything might be written all in that span of 5 to 20 minutes, and those end up being some of the better ones because it's just so candid and right in the
Totally.
moment.
Totally. I mean, that's
Yeah,
that's kind of the thing is when you're trying to be creative, when you're trying to create,
right.
it never happens. It
Yeah,
always happens
yeah.
when you least expect it. It always happens
Yeah.
when you're driving, you need to whip your phone out and sing into a notes
Oh
app or
my God.
something like that.
That
Yeah,
that is
that's
way
being a
too real.
musician.
Yeah, that's real. I forgot about although that
Oh
side of
yeah,
it too,
yeah,
where it's dangerous and you got to
yeah.
get the idea.
Totally. Like I will swerve 6 lanes across this freeway in order to not lose this melody. Yeah,
Uh,
it's a very real thing.
so you do you write and perform as well?
I do not. That's why I do this because I like to talk to
Okay, yeah.
people like you because I have
Mhm.
no actual talents in myself.
I mean, I
Yeah.
wouldn't say that.
I mean, I was a
Uh,
camp counselor for 10 years and
okay, yeah.
I did lead music,
Hmm.
like playing camp songs, so I am like proficient in guitar. I've been playing since I was like 10 or 11, but I would not consider myself a musician. We'll just say
Hey,
that.
that's awesome though, man. I mean,
Yeah,
teaching them young, and the
totally.
tradition, those traditional
Yeah,
tracks are the ones that
you know
like
how it is.
the ones they'll always remember too.
Totally. All right, so man, tell me this. You have been making music for a little bit now,
Mhm.
and I mean, you pretty much experienced every side of it. Is there
Mhm.
something specifically that you enjoy the most about being an artist and a creative as a whole?
Hmm. Um, I'd say just getting that emotion out, it's such a,
Yeah.
um, well, I mean, the obvious one is that it's fun, and I don't want
Well,
to
yeah.
say,
Hey, man, there are
yeah,
no wrong answers. It
yeah,
is fun.
yeah,
So,
I don't want to say that because it's just, to me, it's just like, I love it, it's like, that's
yeah,
like the straight answer. Like, it's just,
yeah,
I was born with this like need to play guitar and get these
yeah,
ideas out, and, I don't want to say all the cliches, but, it's the deeper part of that fun is that it's communicating something that you feel,
yeah.
and it's always been this scapegoat, and I think everyone can agree to that, who, like you were saying, writes for themselves first and
Totally.
foremost and enjoys it. And so um yeah, it's so complex, and it grows as you get older, and that sense of meaning behind it, you start to kind of really realize why you're doing it, and why you're still, maybe why you're touching on those topics a little bit more. And um yeah, I'm just excited to see where it goes because I'm so young. So it's,
Right.
I can only imagine the music I'll write in 10 years, how drastic it'll
Totally.
be, or 20 years.
Yeah, man. I think the cliches are cliches because they're true. Like,
Yep.
yeah, it is fun.
Yeah.
It is fun. Like making music
Mhm.
and making people feel good with something that you thought of is a great
Right.
feeling. So
Yeah.
don't be afraid to say it. I get it.
I gotta interject real quick.
Please.
I loved your episode with Shiny Joe and Julian from Tim.
Yeah. You oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah. I was well, one, like, huge major congratulations for getting them on. I know you've had some other phenomenal artists,
Yeah, that was a huge get for
real
sure.
estate as well. I mean,
Yeah.
some of my favorite musicians right there, you know. So
That's
so
awesome.
cool. Yeah. I mean, was that pretty eerie for you to like actually face face them virtually like that?
Yeah, yeah. Obviously, like you could probably guess, I'm a pretty massive Tame Impala fan, and like that whole universe of
Yeah,
music,
yeah.
Tame and Pond and all those guys. And
Hmm.
I've been a fan as long as I can remember.
Hmm.
And so, yeah, actually getting the yes that yeah, we would love to talk to you
Yeah, yeah.
was like basically like it made has made everything worth it, like all the work
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
building. But yeah, getting to hear their thoughts on things and getting
Hmm.
to talk about things that I would never say to them in person, or
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
or just even getting just like the one-on-one FaceTime
Yes.
is yeah, huge big moments.
It
So
was
yeah,
fun.
man, thank you. That's all. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was crazy too, because specifically the Tame Circle right there. I mean,
Yeah.
um, I hadn't listened to either of their new albums yet, so I had
Hmm.
heard your interviews first,
Oh,
and,
sweet.
and so both times, like it was both by accident. I had tuned in first, and it got me more hyped to listen to the record. So I actually
Oh, hell yeah.
came into both those records so differently than I've listened to other albums before. You know, because like hearing the whole process and what they're going through. I mean, it
Yeah.
really did change my perspective and allow me to appreciate it a little differently. I guess that could be cheating in some ways, you know.
No, it's
But
not. Well, what'd you
yeah.
think? I'm interested to hear what you. I loved Shiny Joe's record. I
Oh
think
my
it's
God. Yeah.
like really, really good. I don't know if you've
Mhm.
heard his first record.
Yes. Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
This was like really damn good. I've been coming back
Yeah.
to it a lot lately. And Julian's record is
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
very great as well. His solo stuff is also fine, but I think that he took it to the next level on this one.
Yeah.
So,
And so different. You know, I find Julian to be such a complex musician. Like you would never know if you just saw him live. Like, oh, yeah, he's a great drummer, you know. But
sure, sure. I mean, that's the
but
coolest thing about all of them is they all
yeah,
have their own things.
right,
They're all such
exactly. Yeah.
talented people.
I love French music. That's a huge influence. So, I mean, I
Totally.
hearing the modern French music and
Sure.
how much that's evolving at the pace of American music is, you know, it's inspiring to like keep up with, you know,
Totally.
pretty
Totally.
damn cool.
Well, I really appreciate you stroking my ego for a moment, but let's switch this back to you, man. I want to know hypothetically, what does the next year look like for you? Do you have anything in the works, or do you have any hopeful goals that you're looking forward to?
Like I briefly touched on earlier, I do hope, you know, in the coming year, I have an EP to follow all these singles, and the songs won't be on the EP. I'll have like a whole new batch.
Oh, sweet.
Um,
Okay. I don't
yeah,
know because I
yeah,
know a lot of people are like, yeah, I released 5 songs over the past year, and here's an EP, and it's the same 5 songs.
yeah,
But that's
yeah.
awesome. Cool. Okay.
Yeah, I do want to embrace that, and like, you know, again, to touch a little bit on the Beatles, you know, that
Please.
moment, you know, not every single needs to be on the album, and I find that pretty inspiring too. You know, and I think it kind of pushes that direction a little bit to be like, you know what, that was then. They don't need to like make another appearance here, you know, because if they don't fit the story for this other batch of songs, then I don't want to just put them there just to put them there.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you know, I hope, you know, after these you know, I get that EP out, and
Yep.
I actually am a host of a podcast
Oh,
myself.
sweet.
Yeah, and so
What's it called? Just plug it.
yeah, it's plug it. It's called Life, Liberty, and Creation.
Sweet.
Also music based and art based. So I talk about like music psychology, kind of where creativity stems from, and all those like harsh realities as artists. And I've so far interviewed just a lot of my friends that are
Oh, nice.
super fucking rad.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm hoping to like get into some deeper connections down the line. And yeah, so next year I'm hoping I'll hit like that, like, you know, when the new year comes, hopefully I have over 30 guests by that point. You know, it's been a slow
Awesome.
start, but I'm really enjoying
Yeah.
it. It's been a
I'll
whole
just
new
say,
territory to
keep at it, man.
tackle. Yeah. Um, but yeah, just you know, I don't have any intentions to perform. I really do love the studio.
Okay.
Um, you know, if I do decide to perform, it'll be pretty mellow, all acoustic based, you know, with some friends. But
Nice.
yeah, I just want to be producing for more artists, and hope, I want to keep the, you know, consistency. I've been close to doing like a song a month somewhere in there. So
Dude, that's a very consistent schedule because
it's
people don't
hard. Yeah.
realize how much that goes into that. You're like, you
Hmm.
got to have it done by a certain date so you can submit it on time, and then you got
Yep.
to get the artwork done, and this, and it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's a
I'm
process for
I'm
sure.
thinking like every other month or something. I'm
Yeah,
trying to allow for a
sure.
little breathing room there.
I assume you have a life outside of music, and it's just like you gotta kind of live your life as well. So,
Definitely, yeah. I'm with my lady,
sure, sure.
24/7, and
Yeah.
I really do love my just time to tune out, and I love reading, and so just kind of going on hikes, all the
Yeah,
like
man.
classic things,
Take it
to get your
easy.
mind off.
Take it easy.
Yeah,
All right, man. I've just got a couple more questions for you at this point.
absolutely. Yeah.
I feel at this point that we have probably an extremely similar, love for bands. So I want to know
Hmm.
what albums or artists can you recommend, and is
Hmm.
there any one of your other friends that are either coming up in collaborations or just other that you'd like to shout out and kind of get their name out
Yeah, I'll stick with just my circle,
there? Please, please,
because
yeah.
I have so many talented friends, and they've all been releasing music this year as well. And um, first and foremost, one of my longest friends I've had, Cecilia James.
Mhm.
She just released her debut EP. It's called Different Ground, and I'm actually playing drums on the opening track, which is cool. And
Sweet.
yeah, it's been a long time coming. She's one of the most talented songwriters and visual artists as well. Um, I'm so stoked to know her and to hear her evolution. Um, Dante Elefante, uh, phenomenal artist, and kind of like a super group, really. I mean, all the guys that play in the live band are close friends of mine, pretty much, or acquaintances, and one of them being Jacob Cole, who's another artist I'll plug here. Um, Angel Davison, now kind of moving into hip hop territory.
All right.
He's amazing. He's kind of as if Jay Dilla had lyrics,
Oh
like
shit! All
was
right.
more lyrical and
Yeah, yeah,
everything,
yeah.
So yeah, him and I have worked together in the past, and he's on one. I mean, I his world of sampling and everything is beyond anything I could ever do.
You'll get there. You'll get there. It'll
Yeah,
happen.
yeah, I'll get there. And obviously James October as well, who was on my
Yeah.
song. He's got a phenomenal um, collection of tracks, and he's an amazing producer as well. So it's been inspiring to kind of see what he's been up to. And
Sweet.
yeah, those five for sure, I'd say definitely check out.
I
And
will. I will. And
all
everyone
from
else should as well.
yeah, all from Santa Barbara, very underrated scene there.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, Max. Then I got one more question for you, and it's how
All
I like
right.
to wrap things up here.
Hmm.
I want to know for the person that is going to discover you from this, and for the person that is going to dive into your music for the first
Hmm.
time, what is an opening message that you would like to pass off to them before they take a listen?
Oh my God, I should have prepared for this one.
Dude, you knew it was coming.
I
You've
know.
listened, you knew it was coming.
I prepared for everything else but that one.
All good.
um, I just say, have an open mind, and you know, I feel like nowadays people are so quick to judge with everything. So,
Yeah.
yeah, just have an open mind, and um, I know most artists probably want to say this, but it's definitely listening music. I definitely put a lot of time into all the like little
Yeah.
details of the song and all the ear candy, as they
Yeah.
call
There
it,
you go.
or stoner treats. That's another good one.
There you go. Exactly.
I
I can
love
see
that.
that.
Yeah. So yeah, just lay back and enjoy the music. Yeah, just have an open mind, and share it amongst your friends, hit the beach or something.
There you go. Solid answer.
Yeah.
All right, Maxon, thank you so much for your time. This was a great talk.
Yeah.
For everyone else out there, Honestly is out. Check it out, listen to it, stream it, follow along, but also check out the rest of his music. I know that there's a lot on the way, so I would say also stay tuned for what else is to come.
Definitely. Thank you so
Awesome.
much, Austin.
Dude,
I really
thank
appreciate your
you.
time. Yeah.
Dude, let's hang. Let's go on a hike when it's not 150 degrees outside. I'm pretty close
Oh,
by, so
I know. I've been working on my studio tan. I'm
Yeah,
super
for
super
real.
pale.
Yeah, I don't get
So
out much.
yeah, that'd be really phenomenal. I'm always
Sounds
looking
good,
for
man.
more connections out here. So
Hell yeah. All right,
yeah.
we'll talk soon. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
All right, man. Cheers.
Bye
Have a good
bye.
one.
Yeah.
Bye.